Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Media Speaks Live Saturday morning news show. I'm D-Lake for Prez, and I'm joined this morning by my co-reporter, Sam I.B. DeGangi. Sam of the Correct Views and the Band Passing Time, Samuel.
Welcome to the Saturday edition, and a huge thank you to all you people hitting my thumbs cap on the Media Speaks. There's like nobody coming to my channel yet to see it. I haven't even had a chance to promote it. But Media Speaks has seen mad traffic from you guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, yeah, totally. We've been seeing a lot of traffic, and I think it's mostly me, but Sam plays a big part of it.
On the Media Speaks, yeah.
It's not Kyle, I'll tell you that. It's not Kyle any longer.
Now, on the Media Speaks, for those of listeners that don't know that are new, make sure you hit subscribe on the channel. David Lake is definitely, that's his primary channel. And I usually do my live shows there and then later on post it on my channel. So.
Oh, it looks like we have someone joining. Sam, are things working out? Is that Anne-Marie that we see? And it looks like you're on mute. If you could unmute. There's a microphone icon at the top. There you go. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. Sam, do you want to introduce your friend?
Yes. D-Lake and I have put the get our applause ready, D-Lake. D-Lake and I have put out the request that we are searching for someone to fill the seats.
That's right. Yeah, we are.
And it does look like Anne-Marie is joining us today. Her name came up as Charles, for those of you watching, but it is Anne-Marie. So good, everyone.
Ooh, code names.
I had to use his computer. That's my husband's computer.
Awesome.
There she goes. She has to mention that she has a husband first thing. So all my chances are out the window. That's fine. Everyone, we have a great show planned for you today. And we're joined today by Anne-Marie, so that's great. And we're going to talk today about Trump is skipping the CPAC this morning, the Conservative Political Action Committee. It's a big hoopla. It's a big deal for conservatives. Are you aware of the CPAC, and are you aware that Trump is skipping it?
Not really. I'm sorry. I wasn't really.
That's fine. I'm sure we'll nail your area of expertise here any minute. But how do you feel about the presidential race? Do you have any thoughts and opinions on that?
Well, I kind of feel like I don't really like a lot of the candidates this time around.
Hillary Clinton is a woman.
I kind of feel like Donald Trump isn't too much of a threat. I think that he's kind of saying things that he might not really mean. You know, like a lot of people are trying to label him like a racist, and I know that at the rallies now, and he's being asked about David Duke and, you know, kind of things like that, like KKK. Okay. But I think that he's saying a lot of things because he wants to get elected. And, oh, am I losing you? Are you still there?
No, yeah, I'm listening. We're going to get to Mitt Romney, who has actually been saying some of those things, trying to labeling Trump a fraud and a phony. Meanwhile, Mitt Romney was Trump endorsed Mitt Romney, gave him money, had fundraisers for him back in 2012. So now the guy's flipping on him, saying he's going to be a detriment to the country. And did you have any feelings about that?
Mitt Romney, I think that he just wants fame and attention. I think that he's bitter, and
yeah.
I just feel like no one really cares what he thinks, and he had all that attention on him the other day because I think people were hoping that maybe he would announce that he would run even this late, and he had all that attention on him, and he could have done something good with that attention instead of attacking Donald Trump. He has a lot of money. I just wish that you know, maybe he would do something good for humanity. I just think that he wants attention and fame.
He could have done something good in 2012, like win. How do you feel about this picture on my screen share, if you're able to see that? And Sam, could you chime in on this picture? A picture's worth 1,000 words. And caption this photo, guys. You can see there's Jeb Bush sitting next to Mitt Romney. The Bushes and Romneys were tight in 2012. if you look at the headrest behind Romney, it says Romney Ryan. So I assume this is during the 2012 presidential campaign. In the foreground, you see a laughing Marco Rubio with his water there. Sam.
I'm unfortunately getting on that. Now I can see you. At first, all I got was the Media Speaks logo. Let's see. I'm looking at your lower picture to get it because I'm getting a Google lag. Oh, the caption. He's saying, "Well, look at that. Even Donald Trump's plane is nicer."
And Anne-Marie, do you want to caption this photo?
Let's see.
Can you see it? You can see it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Where's the pizza?
It's on my screen share. Everyone can see it. There's Jeb. There's Mitt. There's Rubio.
I don't know. When I look at Jeb Bush, I always think of like a human bobblehead, and his head is tilted to the side because whenever he talks.
Yeah, he's a big bobblehead, and Mitt there just laughing, conniving, smiling. Can I play a little bit of Mitt Romney the other day and get your guys' thoughts and opinions?
If we Republicans choose Donald Trump as our nominee, the prospects for a safe and prosperous future are greatly diminished. If Donald Trump's plans were ever implemented, the country would sink into prolonged recession. Isn't he a huge business success? Doesn't he know what he's talking about? No, he isn't. And no, he doesn't. A business genius.
Oh, really? I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with, like, Mar-a-Lago, Doral, Trump Tower, Trump Place, the whole west side of Manhattan, the old post office on Pennsylvania Avenue, the bank in San Francisco. I mean, yeah, he's terrible. He's a fraud and a phony. But go ahead. And what do you think? Are Mitt Romney's attacks a little like who really cares, and is it too little too late? He already won big on Super Tuesday talking about Trump.
Oh, definitely. And I think that he's, he has his father's money, Mitt Romney. And, like, I know that he made money himself by, firing a lot of companies and merging a lot of companies, and people lost their jobs. But he took his father's money, and him attacking Trump is a little bit odd because they're kind of similar in that way. They both came from money. And I really don't think that Mitt Romney really cares about us. I mean, he had a lot of money yesterday, he has a lot of money today, and he'll have a lot of money tomorrow. I don't think he really cares about issues, social issues, or people. Like,
and he has a house out here in La Jolla. I'm in San Diego. Where are you at, Emery?
Presently, right now, only for the time being, West Virginia.
Okay, West Virginia, cool.
But only for a little.
I'm out here in San Diego. Well, I live in La Mesa area, and it's a nice area. He lives in fancy pants frickin' La Jolla, where it's like where all the giant mansions on the beaches are, with his 9-car garage, and he lives in extraordinary luxury and mansion-esque stuff. Donald Trump lives in a penthouse of a gigantic tower that he built. I mean, yeah, both these guys come from money where, I mean, they got loans from their dads. I got loans from my dad, never $1 million, but, it was money that I had to pay back. And that's kind of the way that a father raises his child, I think. I don't know. I think Trump's done a good job of raising what appears to be a good family that I think would be good in the White House. Okay, personally, I've been supporting Trump since the very, 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 very beginning, and you can go back and see all the stuff that I said about him. Now, Sam, can we get your thoughts and opinions on Mitt Romney? And keep in mind that he was basically the one that fucked everything up for Ron Paul in 2012. But go ahead, Sam.
I was just going to get to that. Yeah, it was Mitt Romney that you could look up Mitt Romney cheating, Ron Paul, however you want to word it, in the elections, the last cycle. Iowa was very suspect for Ron Paul. And the reason they're freaking out was they're not so much alike on political matters. I'm actually a lot more in the Ron Paul camp over Donald Trump if I was to have been given the choice that way. But I'm going to use the analogy in that you have one of the underground candidates that is doing very, very well, and they don't like the little guy doing well. They're used to being able to force Gary Johnson out of the party and make him run as a libertarian. They're used to silencing Ron Paul and just cheating him in the delegate process and the way you elect someone from the floor. They changed the rules during the convention. They're used to being able to mow right over somebody that's not part of the establishment. And there aren't too many people alive that are as rich as Donald Trump and as outside. By that I don't mean outside as in he's one of us, he has no money. I mean outside in terms of the way he views the world. And some people say that he's going to be all for the rich man. Look at him. Right, maybe he is. But you can't be a president based only on one thing. So let's say that everyone's darkest fear is true, and he's going to be nothing but caring about the rich man. Okay, what else is he going to do? How's he going to handle foreign policy? How's he going to handle war? How's he going to handle monetary issues and taxes? And what taxes could be a rich man topic. How's he going to handle issues like gay marriage? How's he going to handle things on states' rights? These are things that do not have necessarily anything to do with big money. And they don't like on those issues that he is an outsider.
Great, Sam. I mean, do you guys remember that one time?
There are some things that you just can't imagine happening in your life. This is one of them. Being in Donald Trump's magnificent hotel and having his endorsement is a delight. I'm so honored and pleased to have his endorsement. Donald Trump has shown an extraordinary ability to understand how our economy works, to create jobs for the American people. He's done it here in Nevada. He's done it across the country. He understands that our economy is facing threats from abroad.
Wow.
He's one of the few people who
sounds like he should have been running, huh?
Been cheating. They've taken jobs from Americans. They haven't played fair.
Oh.
We have to have a president who will stand up to cheaters.
Sounds like Trump's stump speech right there.
We don't believe in allowing people to cheat. Day in,
oh,
day
okay.
out.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you. I'm Mitt Romney. Oh, remember that, Anne-Marie? I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I saw that clip on the internet the other day. I was
Yeah,
like, oh.
Back in 2012. That was 4 years ago. A lot can happen in 4 years. What a difference 4 years makes when you don't win the presidency.
The man who attacks the leader of his own party is the man who has lost twice in his presidential run, which I do know is an accusation that they leveled at Paul when he ran.
And Sean Hannity said, I wish he would have been as strong against Barack Hussein Obama as he was today against Trump. Lou Dobbs and some other talking heads had some stuff to say about that. Yeah. But today we're moving into voting states. There's going to be caucuses, 5 more states taking their turn in 2016 White House race. This is happening today. Okay? Oh, sorry, I thought I was on screen share. Let me show you guys. Are you aware today that it's what is it? Where's my super special link? It's Kentucky. What are the states? Sam, do you know which states are voting today? Damn it, I've closed all the wrong links.
Yeah, Kentucky is the only one that I do know. Is West Virginia doing it today?
I think it's not West Virginia. I think it's Maine. And here we go. Let's see.
Oh, one of the Maine states.
These stupid.
You know what? Maybe we'll go live again when the results are done and do like a 5-minute show.
Okay, they're competing in Maine, Kansas, Kentucky, and Louisiana. The GOP is, and the Democrats, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, face off in Nebraska, Kansas, and Louisiana.
Kansas will be interesting because people forget Kansas because it only matters in politics and wheat. But I'm telling you, a lot of prominent people have been in or through Kansas, and I'm the only one I know that does keep an eye on how Kansas votes, because a lot of people come out of that Kansas political area.
We're not in Kansas anymore, Sam.
Not in Kansas.
Let's see when.
Is it Democrat too or not? Or just GOP?
Oh, so I was saying the Democrats face off in Nebraska, Kansas, and Louisiana. So 3 states with the Democrats there, and 1, 2, 3, 4 states for the Republicans. But this is being overshadowed by Super Tuesday and potentially make or break contest soon to come. And Anne-Marie, you probably know that coming up is Florida and Ohio, both winner-take-all states. Those are Marco Rubio's home state of Florida there, where Trump has like a 20-point crushing lead, and Ohio, where the governor, Kasich, who was in the last debate, also has a lead. How do you think that Kasich did in the last debate?
I think he comes across like really kind, and he always says that he doesn't want to like attack anybody else, and I'm not really like enthused by him though.
Yeah, he doesn't get you really excited about, his policies and stuff, but it is sort of, well, he's seeming like the gentleman and the adult in the room who stays outside of the mudslinging fray, but it's like, dude, at this point in the race, if you want to be number 1, you got to throw a little bit of mud, is what it seems like.
Yeah, and he's kind of like the old school Republican. I mean, he always likes saying about his record, what he did before. But it sounds like the newer Republicans are not really into that anymore. Like, they're really even further to the right than he is, like Tea Partiers and stuff like that.
Wow, that's a great point. And so missing the CPAC today, Donald Trump did, because he has the feeling that, well, one, it was reported that there was going to be a massive walkout, like some activist guy that walks around the convention in a colonial uniform was trying to get 1,000 people to like stand up and walk out while he was speaking. I mean, but other than that, Newt Gingrich says that Trump is making the right move by being in where is he, Kentucky or Virginia, one of the or no, that wouldn't be. I think he's in Kansas today, because he wanted to be in Kansas, a state that's voting today, versus being in Washington, D.C. at the CPAC meeting, where he's already given speech year after year, more speeches than frickin' Ted Cruz ever gave there. And when Ted Cruz was on the stage last night talking about, people that want to make America great again, and you can put it on a baseball hat and wear your stupid red hat, a bunch of people stood up and walked out, and they caught it on camera. There was like, they had Trump supporters that protested Ted Cruz talking shit about Trump. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I saw it this morning.
You've opened my eyes to something that I was wondering about yesterday, Eli. In the speech, he had said, wherever I'm at tomorrow, you can bet we're going to have a big party. And I was like, what do you mean wherever you're at? How the hell do you not know where you're going to be? He didn't know whether or not he was going to go to that.
I saw that too, yeah.
The other thing is Kasich, I left this as a comment, Kasich said he polls high to beat Hillary Clinton. I'd like to know who that polling center is, because I'm in Ohio, and I admit Kasich has done well. I'm not a fan of fracking because I worry about earthquakes and water damage from it, but he's kept it away from the plate tectonic areas of Ohio. We haven't had major earthquakes.
Yeah, keep in mind that Sam is in Ohio speaking. Sam, you're speaking from Ohio, where Kasich is the governor. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's managed to not poison the water. I'm a DJ for a living. I do see oil men coming in and out of our club at different times of the year for things. I have no idea what. But I am seeing that industry do well here. Donald Trump's right. It's kind of easy to do well when you struck oil. But having said that, he hasn't poisoned the water or triggered earthquakes or a lot of the things people were concerned about. The water issue has been bad for other areas.
And your club is still open.
Our club is still open, yeah. So I'm still employed somewhere. Canton, Ohio has a nightlife now. That didn't necessarily happen under his watch, but it didn't used to, and it hasn't been overregulated out of existence. So, I mean, he's done okay, but he doesn't have the name recognition to beat Hillary. She's going to beat him not on policy, but on the average person who may not be watching this show. I don't see how he can beat her.
Right. This
Doing a good job of governor, I would add, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get elected. If so, then you could argue that Gary Johnson, or to a lesser degree, Sarah Palin, would be household names, and they're not.
Okay, and I had some funny Gary Johnson stuff, but everyone just go look up Gary Johnson. He's got like 2 or 3 videos that are pretty funny. Look up Gary Johnson calls Trump a pussy. That's pretty good. And yes, I said it on today's show, even though we have Anne-Marie here. Anne-Marie, I hope you weren't offended.
No, I wasn't.
You've watched our show a little bit before you came on today, right?
Yes.
I mean, you knew what to expect. Okay, but it looked like you were about to say something. Go ahead.
Oh, just to like full disclosure, like I used to be an oil and gas landman, and my husband does that for a living. So I met him in Texas, and he hired me. So we've only been in West Virginia for a little bit because of this. We've also lived in a lot of other states. We move usually around like every 6 months to a year, and
And so you're trying to say that you're an agent that's infiltrating our show for big oil and big oil money that moves you around the country and stuff like that. Is that what's going on here?
They don't pay us like the big money, but certain places did pay more. West Virginia is the
and they
lowest.
have to infiltrate internet shows like The Media Speaks. Is that also what's happening? Is the CIA or the FBI involved in any way?
Well, I never about the fracking in the water. I totally agree. I never drink the water around here either. I always buy my water.
Bottled water?
I just buy it. I buy it from, like, in jugs.
Are you like one of those Hollywood actresses that
I have to ask,
bottled water?
Am I right? I'm sorry. I got a delay, D-Like. I didn't mean to do that to you.
That's okay.
Is Kasich... am I right that Kasich is fracking wisely? He's staying away from aquifers, and he's staying away from high... Well, Ohio's only got one major plate that I know of, but he's staying away from it.
You're in Ohio. You would know better than us.
Well, no, I mean, she's in the industry. That's why I asked. Is he doing it well?
I hope so. I really don't trust any of them. Like, I know that there's a ton of reports on the news, like when we lived in Colorado. Like last year, we moved to Denver for a little bit, and before that, Steamboat Springs, Colorado. And there's places like right outside of Denver that people were lighting, taking like a match and lighting their sink water on fire because there's just like I don't really trust any water in any place we've ever been sent to. I just and a lot of people use well water. And like before I met my husband, I was living in Floresville, Texas, and we drank the well water. So I hope that was safe. I don't want to find out years from now something leaked in there. But
no, I used to have a well and drink well water, and I think it's better, right? I mean, wow, did you see those new refrigerator pods that they bury underground? It keeps the food cool. Anyways, we'll talk about that later.
Oh, wow.
No, D-Like, she's saying in areas where fracking and that is, she's trying to avoid the well water. It's supposed to be really bad.
Oh, yeah, well, you don't want to have any cross-contamination, right? I mean, that's all part of environmental protection, right, Anne-Marie?
Yeah, it's horrible. Like, the stories I saw were there's places right outside of where we were living where people were, it was like on the news. They were lighting their water on fire, and their cows were drinking it. Their children were drinking it. It was like...
Did you know you could light fiery Cheetos on fire and you could make McDonald's French fries? Did you see that?
Want to see something amazing? Watch this. As you finish your thought, D-Like, can you find us the Flaming Water video? He's quick.
We'll find the Flaming Water.
He's the man. He's like lightning quick. What's your favorite state you've been in, and why? That would be an interesting thing. Of all the places you've been.
Texas. Texas. When we were sent to New Mexico, we were in this tiny town called Tucumcari, New Mexico, and there was like nothing to do, and it was like 2 hours to Amarillo and 2 hours to Albuquerque, New Mexico. So there really wasn't anything to do. And then we were sent to Clovis, New Mexico, and the only thing that was good about that place was Kendra was on TV with Hank Baskett, and wherever we went, there was like Hank Baskett things on sale because he's from Clovis, New Mexico. But I didn't really like New Mexico except for like the green chili enchiladas, and they have the Hatch green chilies.
I used to live in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's all about the green chili, and everything's green chili. Even the McDonald's has a green chili cheeseburger in Santa Fe. But,
yeah, I had one. They're good.
Yeah, you know what? All right, check it out. This video is only a minute, but we found it.
I can often pull a standard kitchen match to my water, and like I said, it is unpredictable, but the methane randomly travels with the water, and sometimes it will light quite spectacularly.
What the fuck?
Just like that.
It looked like the match was out. Like, who even thinks to do that, though, Emery?
I think it starts with their cows getting sick, and they start shedding like hair, and their kids start getting sick, and then they start saying, oh, it must be something, that, like the water. It has to be the water. And then they start testing it, and I know that there's Gaslands, the documentary. There's some other
They heard there was methane in there, and then they're like, well, let's see what happens if I strike a match under it.
And they get bought off. I know that there was a story in the news, and I followed up on it a few years ago, and the people, like, they just got bought off. Like, they sue, they try to sue, and then they just offer them so much money that they just go away. That's how they make a lot of these things just go away.
That's really scary.
It is, and it's a lot. I mean, you look at, like, Colorado, you look at a map of all the fracking places. There's a map online. It has all these red dots, and it's like, it's really scary because a lot of the water is probably contaminated right around all those places, and there's a smell, like, that hits you when you're traveling through, from just, like, they put in, like, all that, they put in, like, a lot of water, and the stuff that comes out, it's like there's a horrible smell. There's an odor, like, before you even hit it. It's disgusting. So I wouldn't want to be near it. I know I'm originally from New York, and they don't allow fracking in New York.
Right, but I was just looking through this article, and it appears that this was in Pennsylvania, and I think it was Trump was just talking last night about, the border of Pennsylvania and New York. New York's not getting any of the fracking. Pennsylvania's doing it all. But I mean, how much fracking do we want if it's lighting the frickin' water on fire, right?
Exactly. I mean, there's a shale that connects, there's like the Marcellus shale, and it connects over there. And, there is a lot of people in Pennsylvania have, that actor Mark Ruffalo, he always shows up in Pennsylvania.
Oh, Mark Ruffalo, yeah, The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, he always shows up there and helps them with their rallies. And right now I'm in Morgantown, West Virginia, so even this morning we crossed over to Pennsylvania because there's no Home Depot here, and my son likes to do those Home Depot workshops, and there's a lot of fracking there, like right over the border of West Virginia. There's a lot of, like jobs.
Yeah, because I mean, it seems like what I was just saying about Pennsylvania and New York, what you're just talking about right there with the Home Depot, or I mean, some states have the fracking, other states don't, but it seems like it happens right on the borders, too.
Exactly.
Like, we got it, you don't. But then states are succeeding financially, like Ohio. So, I mean, is it good? Is it bad? It's lighting the water on fire. This is something that we need to take a real closer look at. And it's a good thing that we have what sounds to me like an expert, Anne-Marie. This is her first time on the show, but I'm really digging this conversation. Sam, go ahead.
Well, it's a great job. I mean, it is I was like saved by this job. I mean, I was living in Texas with my
How do
boyfriend
you
for
get a
like
job like that? What's your background? I mean, were you educated to do this job, or how did that work out?
Oh no, you don't need any education to do it. I mean, my husband, is an attorney in Alabama. And then he came. He hated doing that. He hated being an attorney, and then he came to Texas to do this. So there are people who do know what they're doing, like him. They know how to read contracts and this and that. But most of the people they hire are like no experience, no experience at all. So when I applied, and he hired me and got me my job, and I was, I just broke up with my boyfriend. I was living with him for like 8 years, and he cheated on me after like the 6th year, and we got back together, and it was not working out for me. I just couldn't get over it. You know what I mean? I tried, but I just couldn't get over it. So anyway, then we got
Really
engaged.
dramatic. I like it.
But and then I had nowhere to go. I was living with him, and
Mhm.
so I applied for this job, and this job is great because it was like they only offered me $150 per day. They usually start people at $200 per day, and they pay for your hotel room. You can stay there all week, even Saturday and Sunday, and they pay for that. They give you $35 per day for food, and they pay for your gas to and from the courthouse.
You're
So
driving, yes.
it was like awesome because it was like I don't have to now go find an apartment. I don't have to start new and fresh and look for a job. So anyway, um, he hired me, and I basically went up there, and I moved into the hotel, and it's like a big family. Everybody's in hotel rooms, and there's a lot going on there. There's not a lot of.
You said it sounds like a big family. To me, it sounds like a big party.
It really was. And then, a lot of these hotels, like especially in Texas and some other places we've been, they have free beer. It's free, like they have a free snack at night, and they have like unlimited free beer. And
Okay.
so there's a lot of drinking and sleeping around. We hooked up right
It
away.
sounds like college without the tests. I mean, did you have to? I mean, what? I mean, that sounds like the nightlife. What was going on during the day? I mean, you had to take a bunch of like courses and stuff, or what?
No,
Orientation and all that, and
no. They
no, you just have the job and you just live in a hotel. What job is this? The oil industry?
Yeah, no one knows what they're doing except for like 5 people. Like he knew what he was doing, and basically you're supposed to get trained. But there's a lot of like, I mean, honestly, there's a lot of like sleeping around. A lot of these men have wives or ex-wives or whatever, and they
Awesome.
travel to where they want to send you. So like you basically like they put me up in with everybody else in Nacogdoches, Texas. And we worked at a tiny courthouse in Center, Texas, and it took like 25 minutes to get there. But basically at the hotel, you see everybody and this and that. These people live usually in Texas, but they have houses and wives. And a lot of those men, like Sam described, they take off their wedding ring, and they're single now, and they sleep around. And I saw it. I saw my boss sleep with people. My boss wanted us to call him Big Daddy, which was really...
Shut the fuck up. Hey, call me Big Daddy. Hey, everybody. There's another guy at the boardroom that wants to be called Big Daddy, and he's like, nah, I'm Big Daddy.
Can you buy Big Daddy's CDs? Warning label.
Sam's like, I've got BigDaddy.com, so...
Wow.
It's true. And he also rented. He was like really wanting to have fun, and he had a wife and 3 kids, and he rented a limo bus and took us to that
Sam, this is gonna be our best rated show ever. Keep it going.
Oh God, it was disgusting. But anyway, I did get he trained me eventually. My husband, he was my he trained me like you basically read documents, you go to the courthouse, and you go all the way back to patent, and you basically have to prove that these people who don't even know you're helping them yet are allowed these rights. So it's like great, 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 great grandchildren who are alive today had some distant relative that had kept on to their mineral rights. And basically, just imagine right now if you had a long lost great, great, great grandfather that bought rights, like next month a landman would be coming to you saying, hey, you know, here's a check, you know, and it's, you know, it's great for those people. I don't have anybody in my family from, you know, they came over, you know, half my family came over, you know, on the boat, so they didn't have mineral rights or anything like that. But some of these people, you go back to the 1800s, and the women who signed the paper.
Was it legal?
What?
Did they come over legally? Was it? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sam, what? Sam, I didn't hear what you said. Go ahead, Sam. Take your mic off mute.
To her story and you sidetracked her, you big dummy. You dummy! But you said nobody. You said you don't know anybody in your family that had land rights to the property.
No, and I gotta say, it's really hard nowadays. Like, say you go try to buy a house or even look online. A lot of these homes don't come with mineral rights. Like, they'll reserve the mineral right, and then they, you know, you could still sell the surface. You could still sell your house. So you won't get those mineral rights if you buy the house. See, so that sucks if you live on the land, because they'll just come and drill a well, and there's a big plume of disgusting smoke, and you have no rights as a surface owner. It's the people who have the minerals, and the people who own the minerals never like live there. They like live sometimes, like, you know, when you track them down, they live like in California or whatever, but they're a distant relative had mineral rights in Texas, so they're not going to be bothered by someone coming on their land, building wells and things like that.
Or it's the Bush family and they live in Paraguay. Sam, is any of this segueing into your science news?
Perhaps the wretched smell. Now, it's going to be very important that you put a description on this particular show, because first of all, Anne Marie is doing an amazing job.
Oh, thank you.
Second of all, who wouldn't want to search poop banks? That's right. News from the science front is scatologically speaking today. Dutch opened their first poop bank to treat heart diseases. After blood and sperm banks, according to from The Hague, Dutch researchers have now opened the country's first poop bank, and a rare and cutting-edge bank of medicine to treat people with chronic gut infections. Our poop bank will give doctors and hospitals access to transplants of fecal matter. Ed Koolsberg, professor of microbiology at Leiden University, told AFP. The Netherlands Donor Feces Bank, it looked like you could probably invest in it. Now, all jokes aside, when I heard this, I was very happy, and a lot of people are going to be thrilled with this. It'll collect, store, and distribute the stools necessary to help with such transplants. So you may ask, why would you want to put somebody else's crap in you? Often, this is the only solution for people suffering from chronic intestinal infections, and in particular, CD, a bacteria which can develop in patients, particularly after lengthy and heavy courses of antibiotics. For my listeners, again, before you take any advice, this is for most people, not all people, so make sure it's okay. You want to take probiotics when you are on antibiotics, because if you don't, you'll end up with a thrush infection, and if you're female, you could end up with a yeast infection. Certain antibiotics destroy intestinal flora, which allow bacteria to develop and spread, he explained. Transplants of fecal matter allow healthy bacteria to be put back into the body, which then spread in the intestines and recreate healthy flora in the gut. it says that there are 3,000 people diagnosed with CD annually just in the Netherlands. And about 5% of the cases become chronic. About 3 to 4 transplants of fecal material carried out in the country every month. And in some cases, infections can be fatal and triggering severe diarrhea, inflammation, colon, and even intestinal perforations. If that happens, they sometimes have to give you an ileostomy, and you can never properly use the bathroom again. So, I mean, they're actually finding a way now to make sure that you're going to find that these kinds of things are they're going to be helping a lot of people with diseases like Crohn's disease, which is good because I've got a friend of mine that has Crohn's, and it's miserable. Your whole quality of life, literally, no pun intended, goes down the drain. So for those interested in that, make sure you look that up. And then I'm going to do 2. I'm going to make it quick, news from the science fund. I'm getting a lot of science news and a lot of
Sam, we can't even talk about the frozen poop pills, or I mean, let Anne-Marie and I talk about this for 1 second. I mean, you just did a whole report about people eating poop. Now,
it's true. Well, that's not how they do it. They usually put it into you via a colonoscopy, which is
okay. No, but I heard that the new thing was frozen poop pills. But Anne-Marie, what are your thoughts on this? I know it's kind of disgusting, but it's scientific, right? This is the science news.
I can't believe this, but I actually heard of this. Like a few months ago, there was an article I read about this. I think they do this in Massachusetts. You have to live like 50 miles away from the center. There's actually a place here. I think it's Massachusetts. I actually read about this, like in that weird science section. Sometimes pops up. I think there's a place here that does that too, like in this country.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I mean, it's something that, you know, scientifically might be coming along, so it's good that Sam reports on it. What did you have next, Sam?
Well, you know, they do tie together. I guess this would be the shit for brain science. The Telegraph, intelligence genes discovered by scientists. Now, I wasn't even going to do this, but my computer, it saves things in odd orders, and these two came up together, so then I decided to put it on. From one end to the other, if you will. This is from Sarah Napton. Genes which could make people intelligent have been discovered, and scientists believe they could be manipulated to boost brain power. Researchers have believed for some time that intellect is inherited, with studies suggesting that up to 75% of IQ is genetic, and the rest down to environmental factors such as schooling and friendship groups. That is counter to what a lot of people have believed for a long time. A lot of people have said that it was, throughout history, of course, Hitler believed it was racial. The Romans believed it was, the further your family was away from formal religions, the more intelligent. It seems like it's genetic, not race-based, not like a Hitler way, but that the intelligent people really do flock together. It's just not based on any racial prejudice or religious annotations. It says, until now, nobody has been able to pinpoint exactly where genes are responsible for better memory, attention processing speed, or reasoning skills. Now, Imperial College London has found that 2 networks of genes determine whether people are intelligent or not so bright. It goes on, they liken the gene to a network of a football team. When all of the players are in the right positions, the brain appears to function optimally, leading to clarity of thought and what we think of as quickness or cleverness. However, when the genes are mutated in the wrong order, it can lead to dullness of thinking, or even serious cognitive impairments. That is extremely interesting. It says, however, scientists believe that there must be a master switch regulating the networks, and if they could find it, they could switch on intelligence for everyone. So, I mean, that is both interesting and scary.
Switch on intelligence for everyone. That sounds like...
That's not so bad. That's the kind of thing you hope for with this. But then you wonder, well, what if the government decides that they can find some way to do this to the enemy to shut off the intelligence of people?
Oh, snap!
So, I mean, that's one of the worries. But, I mean, you can't hold back science because somebody might abuse it either if it's going to help a lot of people.
What if you realize that television and mercury in the tap water and methane and all that was a great way to dumb down the American public?
Hey, if you saw the Super Bowl halftime show, I agree with you.
Yeah, what if you used the CIA to incorporate art and music into that same dumbing down program?
That's where this could go.
Should we be using it in North Korea or right here?
It says they analyzed thousands of genes expressed in the human brain and then combined the results with genetic information from healthy people who had undergone IQ tests from people with neurological disorders such as autism spectrum disorder and intellectual disability. They conducted various computational analysis and comparisons in order to identify the gene networks influencing healthy human cognitive abilities. Remarkably, they found that some of the same genes that influence human intelligence in healthy people were also the same genes that caused impaired cognitive ability and epilepsy. That's not fun. When mutated, networks they called M1 and M3. Now again, the good side of this, they may have found a way to also help autism. Shame on me. Epilepsy. So, I mean,
Epilepsy.
it's interesting. It says in another study they found that all exam results were highly heritable, demonstrating that genes explain a larger portion of the differences between children and between those 54 and 65%. So it says the genes overlap with those of a severe childhood onset epilepsy or intellectual disability. And that was when they used a computer analysis to identify the genes in the human brain that work together. Very, very, very interesting, I think.
Good one. Anne-Marie, did you have any thoughts about that? I mean, are your genetics a way of explaining to everyone how super smart you are, or what do you think?
Oh, well, the only thing about genetics, like just recently, I've been going through this whole thing of doctors with my son because he just started kindergarten and he was having behavioral problems. And we took him to the doctor, then we got referred to another doctor, and they want to do now genetic testing on him because one doctor thinks that he has autism spectrum disorder, but he's like on the high end, the high functioning. And then I took him to the pediatric geneticist, and he didn't think that he has it. He thought that it's such a broad spectrum that he called it a garbage can, and that even he himself would be told that he would have autism spectrum because he said that he likes comic books and he's not social. And he said you could ask my wife. So I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and do the testing. They want to do this.
Just ask yourself this, Anne-Marie. Did they have all this testing when you were a kid, and look how you turned out, and do you think you really need all that for your son?
Oh, when I was little, you know, I actually got like a little bit like really sick when I was little, and they wanted to give me a spinal tap. And supposedly they did like 27 tries before they finally got it, you know, did it, and I didn't even have spinal tap. Oh, it was horrible. And then I really don't have like.
Tries? What the?
I don't have like that was on Staten Island, New York. I was born and raised in Staten Island, New York. And it's like basically it's known for having the Staten Island garbage dump, which they closed now. And they always tried to succeed off of the rest of the like they wanted to be their own city, and it's a borough. And they're known for their horseshoe crab. Sam, that's science news. The horseshoe crab. You should look that up. It's actually an important crab. So that's like in that water. But anyway, I just don't really trust doctors a lot. You know, like, you know, and I do want to.
It sounds like this one doctor might have been kind of honest, though, to tell you that, like, look, your son came up with this, the garbage can or whatever, and, like, but I would come up the same way because, like, he's just a fascinated young child that likes comics and superheroes or whatever he likes, and like that's all freaking. Oh, he likes cars that turn into giant robots. Who the fuck doesn't?
Well, then right after that visit, we went to the pediatric neurologist. We've been to everybody. We've been through the doctor, then the psychologist, then the psychiatrist, a behavioral developmental psychiatrist.
Just be
then
careful all the drugs they want to pump.
Oh, and then they tried to pump his blood for other blood tests, and they couldn't get a vein, and he was hysterical. And it was just like a horrible experience. Well, then when I went to the neurologist, who's in the same office, by the way, of the geneticist, I told them, I didn't say that I didn't believe he has autism spectrum disorder. I just told them that what the geneticist just said. I mean, we just went to the geneticist like a week earlier. So she was like really nasty to me, and she was like, you don't believe you don't believe that he has autism spectrum disorder. And I said, well, what do you see as a pediatric neurologist that, what is he doing right now that makes you think that he has it? And she said to me, well, you've been to 3 or 4 other doctors that say that he has it, so if you don't believe them, there's nothing I'm going to tell you that's going to make you believe it. And that's not true, because the geneticist just told me, that was one of the 3 or 4 doctors, that he didn't think he had it. So it was just like a terrible visit. And and anytime I ask a question, they don't really want to answer it. They think that I'm being difficult, like I'm not. I'm questioning their diagnosis.
Be careful. I mean, don't go to any more. I don't know.
I know. I'm sick of it. I'm like totally sick of it. They've already taken his blood so many times, and now with this genetic testing, I don't know what it's going to even say. It was horrible. It was a horrible experience. I hate this whole thing. I want to get off this roller coaster of going to these doctors. I might have to take a break before we go back.
Well, I've been through a semi-similar experience. Just that I had my ex-wife was going to the doctors because she was feeling, different emotions and this and that or whatever. I mean, she just had her second child, our second child, and but she goes to the doctor, and day one the doctor's like, oh yeah, you're like manic depressive, and but you're bipolar manic depressive. He figured that out in 10 minutes. And then he's like, here's a whole crap load of drugs. And she's like, oh, I'm going to take some of these drugs just to see how they work. I'm like, dude, like after 2 weeks, I'm like, enough with the drugs, enough with that fucking stupid doctor's ideas of what he thinks. It's turning you into a whole wacky different person. That's not you. This is not you. And like, let's just get off the drugs. We did that, and it worked out. And like, these doctors, man, I tell you, day one, they're just like, oh, yeah, you're Jimi Hendrix, manic depressive, and here you go. Go listen to Purple Haze and take these fucking drugs.
Yes, it's like, it's 10 minutes. It's like they literally see you.
Yeah, they're like you're in the office for 10 minutes, and they're like, yeah, it looks like your son has autism, and he needs to start getting on all these medications. And you're like, well, I mean, this morning he was just watching cartoons, and he seemed like a normal kid, but now you're telling me he's not a normal kid.
Yes, it's horrible. They have a big observation window. They have the university, like the West Virginia University. So they have every room I've been in is like a shoebox. And then on the other side, they have a big mirror. And on the other side, I'm guessing, I don't know how many people are in there, but that's the way these visits always are. Like, we're sitting in the room, and I'm trying to keep him occupied and have fun because he wants to leave. And then they come in and go, oh, I just observed you for like 5 minutes, and this is what I think. And it's like, what are you talking about? We've only been here for 5 minutes. I want like a full assessment. And they said, no, you're never going to get one. They just merge one assessment onto another assessment onto another one. What?
Your son didn't solve the Rubik's Cube in 5 minutes, so therefore he's mentally retarded. Okay, there you go. We need to start giving your kid all this medicine. Dude, it's like, dude, get out of my life.
Yes. Exactly. You understand exactly what we've been through. It's been horrible.
And then they're all P.S. It's going to cost $239 for this visit.
Oh, exactly. I know. And even the labs. They said, oh, the labs are covered. The labs are covered by your insurance, and they were not. Like so far, like we had blood taken.
This test, that test, and another test. Everything's covered except this test, and this test that we all have to run.
Exactly.
All right, Sam. Man, well, this is the first time we had Anne-Marie on the show, Sam. Forgive me for getting carried away in her story. That is incredible, and I can't wait to hopefully have her on the show again.
Yeah,
Thank you. I'd love to.
I gave the horn to the insurance company, not to you.
Oh, I know.
No.
But Sam, we have a regiment to the show, and like we're trying to get to the entertainment news. While this is entertaining, Sam, you said you had a boatload of entertainment. What do you have?
Well, the first one, a lot of people have.
This is the point in the show, Anne-Marie, where we loosen up. We talk about entertainment. You said you watched the show before. This is probably your favorite part. I don't know, but here goes Sam with some entertainment news.
Smart with entertainment, so I've got 4 of them, and I'll make them quick because the first one people have already heard about. Leonardo Crybaby DiCaprio. Now, I've stuck up for him when he was in Titanic.
I love little Leo. Is that little Leonardo DiCaprio?
I thought he was excellent in Titanic when everybody else said he was a little pretty boy. I'm like, no, that guy can actually act. I mean, it was kind of a girl movie, but then again, it was also the director of Aliens. So, I mean, that guy can act. And I thought, he had been robbed in years prior. And I'm like, one of the few Hollywood stars I think actually really, really you could put him in just about any role. So what's he do? He yammers on about the lie of global warming. This, as he gets his speech. The man who routinely flies between New York and L.A. in a carbon dioxide spewing private jet. Sony last year, in an email leak, revealed the Wolf of Wall Street actor took 6 private round-trip private jet flights in the space of 6 weeks between April and May. Travel records show that DiCaprio took a private jet from LA to Las Vegas and stayed in Sin City for just 8 hours before flying home again. But no, Leonardo DiCaprio is going to tell you that you need to turn your heat down, that you need man is warming the planet, which also moves on to another. I'm glad I didn't watch yet.
There's on my screen share real quick. There's Leonardo at the United Nations. Yeah, they're a real organization with Leonardo DiCaprio. Go ahead, Sam. Wait, Anne-Marie, real quick, did you have any thoughts about Leonardo DiCaprio warning the planet about global warming and then flying around in big giant jets and Titanic-type boats and stuff?
Oh, well, I think it's really annoying. Oh, can you hear me? But I think it's annoying when these actors think that they're experts on things, and I know Al Gore used to do this too. They used to always talk about he goes back and forth on airplanes, wastes so much, carbon dioxide and we all this. But I did like Leonardo DiCaprio in Blood Diamonds. Did you ever see that movie?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, I love Blood Diamond. He's good in a lot of movies. He's an excellent actor. But should he, as an actor, like Mark Ruffalo that you were talking about earlier, should they stay out of this? I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is more my territory than Leonardo DiCaprio's. He doesn't know what is it. I should be speaking at the United Nations, and you should.
Well, these people get attention. They have, when they're given a platform and they have attention and they can make a statement, and people will, obviously they're famous and popular. I wish they would use a platform to help children or use their money for like a children's hospital. I mean, really, there's only like St. Jude's Hospital that Danny Thomas formed. It's like something like that. Like even Jay-Z, I know I'm getting off topic, but when he had all those celebrities come together, it was to make like a statement, and it was to launch a streaming company. It's like I wish they would come together and take their money and their platform and all this attention. They got all these cameras on them and do something to help people.
Jay-Z is within the realm of entertainment. You were perfectly fine to bring that up. Sam, what'd you have next in entertainment?
Oscars again in the memory montage excludes a pagoda. How in the world are you not going to put
pagoda?
How are you not going to put the actor who is famous for Fish
Yeah.
Godfather, the freaking Godfather, one of the most legendary movies of all time. Abe Vigoda laughed off the subject of death rumors and jokes for many years. But after he died on January 26th, the day after my birthday, at the age of 94, the Oscars left him off their annual memorandum video montage.
It's fucking bullshit.
They also left off Jeffrey Lewis, who was he's contributed to 220 roles in TV and film.
Jeffrey Lewis?
Yes, did not get a nod. And I mean, Abe Vigoda was one. Like I said, to not put him in, he was always playing the scary guy in something, the creepy guy, always. Absolutely, literally.
Yeah. He looks like Ron Howard's brother, like a creep guy. But Abe Vigoda, how dare you leave Abe Vigoda off the list?
And
The only reason they left Abe Vigoda off is because they thought he died like 20 years ago.
he was rumored. But yeah, the blue shirt at the bottom left, that was him as Fish, which was also a character on Barney Miller's show as well. I mean, he was in everything.
Yeah. What about those actors that die like in every movie? What's that one guy's name? Like every movie he's in, he dies, like his character dies in the movie. You know what I mean? But okay, Sam. Anything else? I know it feels like you're starting to head towards the obituary column, Sam.
There's two more. Former American Gladiator star Lee Rariman dies at the age of only 49.
Oh God, Sam, you and your obituary column.
Actor and athlete Lee Rariman, who played a hawk in the competition series American Gladiator, died in one day, Manhattan, in California. He was 49. It was completely unexpected. He was the epitome of health. He underwent hip surgery a couple of months ago and hasn't been feeling good. They said he was a lineman for Cornell University. When he failed to make the Miami Dolphins, he decided to become an actor. He was a small role in Columbo. He was in Last Action Hero with Arnold in Love. Broke out in '93 when he joined the American Gladiators. He's on Speed Network's Hot Rod TV, Forza Motorsport Showdown in 2007, and he was in CW's Jane the Virgin, as well as The Guide to Life, The X-Files, Gilmore Girls, That's So Raven, and The Steel. So there you go. Did you know him, Anne Marie, the real big guy from American Gladiators?
No, I'm not familiar with him at all.
And this one be like too strange to go anywhere else. From the Mirror, Ghost Yacht. Now you're gonna want to screen share this, like horror as mummified body of adventurer found sitting at the desk of a vessel drifting at sea for 10 years. The mummified body of a German adventurer has been discovered on an abandoned yacht, drifted around the world for years. Manfield Bajarat, 59, I hope I didn't butcher the name, was found by fishermen at the weekend off the coast of his body was covered with telephone 40 feet of the 40-foot yacht, as if he was trying one last desperate mayday call. Look at this picture. The tragic sailor was also penned a haunting final message to his wife Claudia.
That's great.
In 2010.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was writing messages when he died to somebody that was already dead, as if he was seeing ghosts or something. Did you hear that?
Sounds like that movie, The Triangle. Did you see that one?
Probably. I've seen All Things But Meat. I'll have to look it up if I have.
Yeah, The Triangle is a good one. But, Sam, forget about finding a dead body on the ghost yacht. Did you hear about...
About what?
What?
Yeah, you broke out. No, think about
Did you hear that they found a knife at the O.J. Simpson property?
Briefly, I heard someone talking about it, so I want you to get into it. But no, you got to hear this out. The sea salt mummified him, but before he died, he was writing messages to his dead wife, like they were somehow like something weird happened. They have no idea where he went. He was extremely experienced, roaming around. He knew what he was doing out there, and his body's been taken for an autopsy for inspection. They said they have no evidence of a second person aboard, and no weapon was found on the yacht. So that's an odd. Just go to the mirror, friends. I'm telling you, he was like writing messages to people that weren't there and that have been long deceased. No one knew where he was, but yet some people hadn't reported him missing right away. Go, look it up. It's really weird. But no, go about the night, please.
Sure. Buried knife found at OJ's estate. Now, the estate has been sold or whatever. It's being demolished, as you can see in the picture. In 1998, okay, so a long time ago, the story is incredible. We're told a construction worker found the knife years ago. We have heard several different stories, ranging from several years ago to 1998, when the house was demolished. The weapon is a folding buck knife. Okay, so it's a little bit different than, it's a folding buck knife that was found buried at the property, and it's currently being tested by the LAPD in a top-secret investigation, law enforcement tell TMZ. Of course, O.J. Simpson was acquitted in 1995, 3 years before the buried buck knife was found at the property. Law enforcement sources say the construction worker took the knife to the street, where he saw an LAPD cop. He told the officer where he found the knife, and the cop took it. Turns out the cop, who worked in the traffic division, was off duty at the time, working security for a movie shoot at a house across the street on Rockingham. This is all in like Hollywood, Los Angeles area. Our sources say the officer took the knife home and kept it for years. Now, keep in mind, he's kept it, a buck knife that was found at the property 3 years after O.J. was already acquitted of the murders of Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson. So, what are you guys' thoughts about this? Henry, go ahead.
Wow, this is the first time I heard about that. I hope they tested it.
This all just broke this week. I mean, this is the past 2 days, actually. So, I mean, it's all breaking news. Do you remember the O.J. Simpson trial?
Oh yeah, it was. I was like a senior in high school.
Okay. And it was on TV like every day. It was labeled the trial of the century. I mean, there's not a lot of people that didn't see that, at the time, if they were around to watch it at the time. And how did you feel about the O.J. Simpson case back then? Did you want to say how you thought about it back then?
It was just. Oh, I hear a lot of feedback on my computer. I remember, like, we were all watching, like, the main thing I remember is, like, the car chase, that long car chase, because we were watching, I think it was, like, the Knicks that year. It was a big year in sports, like.
And then next thing you know, there's a white Bronco on the freeway and a slow-speed chase with the LAPD.
Yes, because it was huge. Like, we were all watching it on this huge screen. I used to work at this place, like a grocery store, and all of us kids would go across the street to this bar, and it was called Tailgate, and it's not there anymore. But we used to hang out there all the time. And even though it was a bar, it was like, that's why it closed eventually. But it was on this huge screen, and we were all watching the game, and then all of a sudden we saw that car chase. And I just remember watching it, like, as much as I could. It was like the only source of entertainment. Like, it was like court TV. We'd all watch it together. It was, I don't know. It was like, it was a lot of weird things going on. It was like the police sounded like they were, there's that. I don't know. It just seemed like they might have planted some evidence.
What about the Bruno Moglia shoes? Those Italian shoes with the bloody shoe footprints? I mean, I thought he was guilty, but I'm just throwing that out there. But he was acquitted, and you can't try him again because that would be double jeopardy, regardless if you found a buck knife at his property. So I don't really think anything is going to come of this. Sam, did you think anything different? I mean, O.J. Simpson's already in jail on prison on something else, and he's having a hard time even getting money in the prison, and he's probably doing gay stuff. I don't know, Sam. How do you feel about it?
I think the juice has been squeezed, but it's interesting.
Oh.
He's the one who talked your commissary money, but I think the most important thing to pull away from this is that the racial divide that they tried to form in this country over what was clearly just a matter of criminal activity. It had nothing to do with race whatsoever. And I remember that was the beginning of the wide acceptance of a bigger racial divide than there had been. Because things hadn't been so us versus them prior to the O.J. case for a long time. It was sort of that and the Rodney King verdict, which was.
Yeah, I was just about to interject that exact same sentiment. Is like we're talking back in the '90s. There was Rodney King. There was the O.J. trial. Race relations were a little bit different. You had NWA coming out straight out of Compton, and then they made the movie last year, and Sam's mad because I said he's not the Eazy-E of the group, but you know, I mean. I was just trying to protect his reputation. Sam, did you have anything else in entertainment? You just did your obituary, the other stuff. I mean, what else?
That's it. I've got more, but we'll stop there for right now, I think.
All right. Well, Anne-Marie, this is the portion of the show where we loosen up. It's been great having you on the show. Have you seen anything recently in entertainment that you found, fun or exciting? I'll go first. I just House of Cards just dropped on Netflix yesterday, and I watched 2 episodes last night. Well, I watched 2.5 episodes. I started watching episode 3, but it was like, oh my god, I'm totally starting to binge watch. It's time to go to bed. But great effing show, The State of the Union. Oh man, have you watched any of House of Cards, and do you like that show?
I've never seen it. I have to look that up. I did Netflix. I got the Roku stick. Do you guys know what that is? The Roku stick?
Oh, yeah. That's like Netflix Plus.
Yeah, it's awesome. I canceled cable. The cable was so expensive around here. And this stick is awesome.
Okay.
So now you got like Netflix, Hulu, and a bunch of other stuff, right?
I'm getting all the free stuff. So far I did Amazon for 1 month for free, and then I canceled that. Now I'm doing the Netflix for another month, and then I'll cancel that before the trial.
If you have Netflix, you have to look up House of Cards and Black Mirror. Go ahead, Sam.
House of Cards, Black Mirror, and I thought I might have mentioned this something.
Daredevil.
I don't remember. Oh, and Christelle has added that it might be that he was writing to his wife not knowing that he had died, by the way. So he may have been at sea even longer. I found an old TV show. I mean, it's like the 60s. But if you like really creepy, odd shows, and I think I might have mentioned it last week, but I don't know if I did. Dark Shadows is creepy. You have to start at the first one, but it's this real creepy, like... I'm amazed it doesn't have like a Twilight Zone kind of following. I think the only reason it doesn't is because all the shows tie together. So you can't
Did Johnny Depp make a Dark Shadows movie?
I think so. I haven't seen it because I'm worried it's going to give away this in it. So I'm going to wait and watch it later. I didn't know about it until I found this, believe it or not. Is the movie good?
I seem to remember it was okay. It's Johnny Depp, so I mean...
And then I found an old creepy. Now this is more like Twilight Zone, called Shadows. Put in Shadows television series. It's an English Twilight Zone from the same. A little bit later. It's creepy. It's really creepy. I found those.
That sounds pretty good. Where'd you find that?
Looking up Dark Shadows. I found Shadows TV series by looking.
No, I know, but where? On YouTube?
Yes.
All right, so everyone can check it out there. Emery, what have you... I went first with House of Cards. We got In the Shadows. What have you seen recently that was fun or exciting? Have you been to the movie theater lately, you and your husband, or you and your kid? What have you seen?
No, we don't really go to the movies too much. I've been watching.
No, you don't have to.
This Roku, they have an MST3K channel. So
Okay.
I love MST3K. So I've been watching like a lot of that. Before, like a couple months ago, I started watching Ash versus Evil Dead on Stars, but I don't get to. And I love Bruce Campbell. I love Evil Dead. I love all those, kind of shows and anything he's in. So that was looking promising. So I don't know. I'll have to find out how to watch that maybe online or something.
What about Walking Dead, Game of Thrones? You seem like you would like those shows. Do you like those?
I have never watched any of those yet. I've been consumed with all these doctor things and going up to his school and meetings and
Oh yeah.
It's just like it's consumed me. And
how old is your son, and what does he like to watch?
He's 6 and he loves like Yokai Watch, which is like the new Pokemon. And I usually watch whatever he wants to watch. Like before, he used to love like Doc McStuffins and things like that. But he loves Spider-Man, Superman. He loves like all like. Oh my gosh! I bought him Spider-Man sneakers and a Spider-Man shirt, and I made the mistake of taking it to the doctor. So they were like, "Oh, you're obsessed with Spider-Man." It was like an autism thing. That was an autism marker. I was like, "Oh," and these shoes were like $65. So I was like, so then I bought him another pair of shoes that every time I went to the doctor, I just put plain black shoes, and then I just bought him plain white shoes now. So
yeah, no identifying superheroes when you go to the doctor. Is that the lesson that you learned?
Yes, no matching, and don't match a shirt with the shoes. Like I had all these Spider-Man shirts I bought him, and Superman shirts, and Lego Star Wars.
So whoa. You're saying that superhero shirts and matching shirts and sneakers lead to misdiagnosis at the doctor's office?
Did that doctor never own underoos? Because I was underoos.
Yeah. Sam got diagnosed with autism because of his Aquaman underoos.
I loved Aquaman.
And matching sneakers.
Aquaman.
Sam, you don't match your underoos with your sneakers.
I think I mentioned this before because you knew it was Aquaman. Yes, I loved it. It was awesome. It was like orange and green. You couldn't beat it.
So I think Aquaman is going to be in the new Batman vs. Superman, so everyone look forward to that. I know Sam's going to be super excited.
Christelle asked what underoos were. Oh, what a horrible time.
Okay. It's been a great show today, Sam. Let everyone know where they can find us. Let's get out of here.
You caught me in mid-drink. You can find us at youtube.com/themediaspeaks. And also youtube.com/thecorrectviews for my show. I've been covering all of the election results, caucus results, primary results. I will likely be doing something late tonight. I'll be inviting D. Lake, who knows it's Saturday night. So, I mean, we don't suck so bad that we're both going to be home at the same time on different ends of the country.
It'll probably be happening around like 5, 6 o'clock my time. That results will be coming in from the 4 states that are voting today. If you want to get back on later on tonight, Sam will be happy to do it.
We might do it. We'll have to try. I know we're supposed to go snowboarding today. Christelle has the creeping crud, so we're going to be going to Tinseltown or something. But yes, you can get a hold of me at the correctviews@hotmail.com. And listeners, what do you think? Because if she wants it, I say Anne Marie stays.
We definitely enjoyed having you on the show today, Anne-Marie. If you want to be on again, maybe next week or in upcoming weeks, depending on your schedule, I think it would be great. We welcome you back. You could be the next addition to themediaspeaks.com. That's going to make Anthony Court, who loves the Walking Dead and the Evil Dead versus Axe and all that other stuff. He loves that stuff. He's going to come back and he's going to be like, oh, it's so great. Yeah, I want to talk to her too. And like, we could have you back on the show. Maybe you'll inspire Kyle Phillips to come back to this show. But we had a seat we were trying to fill today. You did an excellent job filling that seat. If you want to come back, of course, we welcome you. Where can people that are now your fans on our show find you on the internet if you want to tell people where they can find you?
Oh, I don't really like upload YouTube videos or anything, but I'm on YouTube. I have a Facebook page, but I don't
have a Facebook page. Yeah, we all do. But you don't want a bunch of creeps starting to be your friends on there that you don't know too well, so we'll just skip that part. But hopefully, the more that Anne-Marie comes back on the show, the more availability you'll be able to find her right here on themediaspeaks.com every Saturday. Thank you all for joining us. I thought it was fucking... I'm at a loss for words except the F word. I thought it was a great show.
Thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun. I would love to come back on. Thank you so much.
Great. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Sam?
Pour juice on your chin.